You're listening to The CEOs, brought to you by the University of Alberta on the Chorus Radio Network.
Bill Rice has been chair and CEO of the Alberta Securities Commission since 2005. How did he get to that position? How difficult is it to protect Albertans from bad investments? Hello, Mr. Rice.
Good afternoon, Angela.
Now, if you've listened to our CEO series, you have to understand that as much as I want to find out all about the Alberta Securities Commission, I really want to find out more about Bill Rice. So we always have to kind of go back to the beginning. You were born in Amherst, Nova Scotia, but quickly moved to Montreal.
That's correct.
What kind of a kid were you?
Kind of a skinny little guy with a fair amount of energy, and I got involved in athletics early on, which is helpful for young boys to gain some confidence around and a little bit of identity.
Did you love Montreal, growing up in Montreal?
I was very proud of Montreal, actually, and I was very proud to live in Montreal. And growing up in Montreal in the 60s, it was an exciting place with lots of interesting things happening. Yes, I still have a warm spot for Montreal.
In those early years, was there someone in particular that you really admired for any number of reasons?
Well, those early years are a long time ago, but
I'll even take your teens.
I think I'd have to get into my teens and later high school years. There was a football coach that had a strong influence on me over the course of only 1 year. But looking back, if I had to think of someone that left a long-lasting impression, I'd think of that football coach.
What was it about the coach that left such an impression on you?
Well, he was a classic tough guy. He was not a very big man, and yet I recall that he tried out every season for the Montreal Alouettes. I don't believe he ever made the team, but he kept going back. He was very hard on us as players. He, in those days, was a classic tough guy and expected tough, hard, strong effort out of his youngsters. Mm-hmm. But he had a very strong character, and he had to make some tough decisions around difficult circumstances. And I was very impressed with the way he handled it. I thought he had his priorities right. I thought he stood up for principles when he knew he was going to meet a lot of opposition. And having made a great many people unhappy during the course of the season as a result of his decisions, I recall when he announced his retirement from the school, he was moving on, I think, to a university posting at the time. The students gave him a standing ovation. And that also left a strong impression on me that people who act in a principled way and in strong ways, although often hard, are appreciated by those that they lead. You
took some of those characteristics then with you, do you feel? Or tried to?
Yeah, I would say I tried to.
Does the fact that we have a strong economy almost make Alberta a target for, well, I'll call them scam artists or cons when they come to this province saying that I have a way of making you even more money?
I believe that to be the case for a couple of reasons. One, there's a sense that there are good investment opportunities in Alberta because of a sense of a strong economy, and there's knowledge on the part of those willing or wishing to take advantage of people that there are wealthy people who have money to invest resident in the province, so this is fertile ground for them.
Here's the thing, though, and when we've heard the stories, I mean, it's a long list. I'm not going to start naming off companies, but the companies' names that end up facing fraud charges, they seem legit. They've got a great advertising campaign. They've got a website. Advice from you, if anyone has any concern about what they think is a great deal, would they be able to go to the Commission and find out, wait a second, are these people legit? What are some things I should be looking for before I put my money down?
Well, we would advise anybody to seek some level of professional advice. Absent that, we would encourage them to contact us, and we can give them some direction to get that advice. It is not our job and it's not our capability to judge the appropriateness of investments, but we can highlight the red flags that they should be looking for. We should highlight to them that when they hear something that is too good to be true, it is not true. We can emphasize to them that higher returns always come with higher risk, and they should be paying attention to that fundamental in investment reality. So we can help them think about the right issues. We can help direct them to some professional assistance, but I don't want to represent that we evaluate investments or participate in their investment decision making.
So much of this bill comes down to trust, because it's usually, as I mentioned, a family member or a friend who says, I've made an incredible return on this investment. You should talk to this individual. When I finally have my trust in that individual, what should I be asking that person before I give them the money? And, you know, do I have to see that he or she is registered as an investment dealer? Is that something that would at least calm my concerns?
Well, that would be a first step. That would be if someone is representing themselves as an intermediary, an advisor, a dealer in any way, yes, for sure, you should check the credentials of that person. If that person is just someone who is representing that they have an engagement or an involvement or an interest in a good investment, then you should seek some outside objective advice.
Mr. Rice, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Angela.